Hello. Hello everyone. Sorry I couldn't make it yesterday, but I'm going to tell you I'm going to say what's on my mind. You know, not only are we going to be looking at 2024 as what we call a crossroads election, but we're going to be looking at we're going to be looking at not only 2024 is a crossroads election, but we're also going to be looking at a few things. This is the last election. This is the last election. Sorry I couldn't catch up. But before I go in there, sorry I couldn't catch up for anything anything that sorry I couldn't do my stream because I was walking. But today, I mean, Trump finally got indicted federally, but because it's such a two-tier justice system that only goes after the poor, really, much harsher. But really, and if wealthy clients get jacked, we get the harshest sentence because, capitalism, all that shit. But in other words, there's definitely a huge change. Legal bullshit is going to happen with not only DeSantis, but also Trump in the next, in the next, you guessed it, couple of years. I mean, this is the last gasp. The voting right, part of the Voting Rights Act where my home state got, where my home state got, where my home state got the Voting Rights Act, basically took did the Voting Rights Act. I think it's a huge win because it gives POC some goddamn representation. But on the other hand, this is huge because this is the last gasp. This is the last gasp before Gen Z turns 30. Some Gen Z members will be 30 and older by the time 2028 comes. By the time 2032 comes, we will have the next election, if it even translates to that long. But on another note, we're looking at this is the emergence of the Zoomers, and plus this is the last gasp for the T Thuglicans to gain power in all three houses, but that's unlikely because there's too much damn infighting. So, on another note, they have a good chance at retaining Senate seats, the Democrats. Fortunately, because I don't want the GQP spouting their openly fascist ideas. And it looks like we may see Gen Z probably taking control in this election. So we're seeing some significant changes. In this decade. 2020 was the first year Gen Z actually voted. Was it en masse. Now it's going to be and it's only going to grow because we're going to look at it. My generation, hell, people my age are actually going to be in their 40s, believe it or not. But on another note, I cannot wait for honestly these are this. And yeah, Pat Robertson finally kicked the barrel. Good riddance. Because he was such a fucking nut. But here's where we're gonna see less of that. We're gonna see less of that, and we're gonna have altruism. I just want to see this country move along the lines of altruism, critical thinking, logic, reason, and 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 humanist thought. Honestly, don't see the next. Honestly, don't see the next. Honestly, don't see the next generation turning conservative, because Generation Z is likely going to be economically left wing. And I'm about as economically left as you can get. So seriously, I want people to start reading. Global politics textbooks and language learning. It's also time for most people to do some books on political theory and how they and how they do and how they do and how we don't like this chud ass bullshit, because this generation and the generation coming after that really isn't having any of it. So, in the interest of fairness, I think we should just start reading. A few things, most specifically critical thinking books, logic, philosophy, and all of that. But we should also think about how to help our fellow. We should also think about how to help our fellow man. Be honest with you, I see more secular people doing that than most extians. I mean, the problem with the current GQP is there's one source that they're going for, and it isn't Jesus. It's Ayn Rand. Ayn Rand's entire morality basis is, I got mine, so fuck you. And we need less of that and more of how to be decent people instead of being. We need to learn how to be more decent people instead of learning how to be self-serving objectivist hacks. But that's another story for another time. So hopefully you take away from this little live stream saying, and you know what? Saying, I like how he's speaking. I'm like, yes. here it is. So therefore, I bid you, dos vidania ili spokojnej noci.